There we go. And let's go. All right, so this is a picture of the exterior here. This just gives you some details about the property, who our deal sponsors are. And I'm going to get into more detail on that here in just a little bit. So this is the necessary and not really so fun, but necessary disclaimer. Most of you on here, I think, have attended webinars like this before, so you've probably seen something like this. I'm not going to read it word for word. It's just a general disclaimer and confidentiality. This purpose of this webinar is to provide information on the Amber Vista's investment offering. There are no guarantees. We are not tax professionals, or we're not qualified to provide legal advice or anything of the sort. And but we do have extensive experience in this and are excited to talk to you about this. And we will be sending out a recording of this webinar along with the slide deck. So if you do want to read this word for word, you certainly can. Here's our agenda for tonight. So we are going to talk about our sponsor team, and we're going to share with you who our strategic business partners are that are helping us get this deal across the finish line. I'm going to touch on the property itself and the highlights of why this investment is such a great one for us, and that we also believe will be great for you. We'll cover our property and market overviews and discuss the business plan, go into the financial projections. We're going to touch on the cost segregation, and then we'll cover next steps, and then we'll do Q&A. So here's our sponsor team, except my husband, David, was not in this picture, unfortunately, but Michael Palmer on the left, Larry Troy, that's me in the middle, Crystal Lee Thomas, and Lydia and Frank Essery. So here's my husband, David, in this picture. So here's a little bit of detail about us as a sponsor team. So, you know, I got to be honest with you, when I was putting this information together, I was just blown away by the level of experience that we collectively as a group have. And it was pretty humbling to see this and just like, wow, what an amazing kind of eye-opening, almost surreal. So, you know, Larry Troy and my husband, David, and we have done, this is our fourth deal together as general partners. You know, I owe a lot to Larry. Larry really helped us just kind of get our first deal. He helped me and David throughout the process, just sharing, you know, his experience and knowledge. And so this has been an incredible journey. Our first deal was in 2018. And, you know, so 4 years later, here we are doing our fourth deal together, and I love it. Larry is a great partner. I like to call him the numbers guy because he really knows numbers and he is fantastic at that. So if you look at his little bio there, I won't read everything word for word, but highlights, you know, he's been a general partner in 3 properties. 2 of them have gone full cycle, and the average return to investors on those 2 that went full cycle was an average of 194%. And he's been investing in multifamily for 12 years. Frank and Lydia, whoops, sorry about that. Got a little happy there. Sensitive mouse. Frank and Lydia, this is our first time partnering with them, and I'm so excited. Really, you know, it's really important when you're partnering with people that you align yourselves with other people that, you know, that you have similar outlooks on, similar values on, similar way of looking at business. And that's definitely Frank and Lydia. They are just super nice, incredible people, have such huge hearts, and very, very inspirational too. They're a very sweet couple. So I'm really happy to be partnering with them for the first time. So they've been doing this since 2012, and they are in 3,248 doors as limited partners. And then they are also GPs on other projects. So 624 doors as general partners. And Frank had an engineering background. So I know we have a lot of engineers in the group, and he's now a full-time investor. So that's awesome. Congrats for him. And Michael Palmer and I have known each other, and my husband David, since we joined the group. Michael, I think, joined as a student of Sumrock before we did. And so this is super exciting. Like, this is so awesome to see that Michael is being a GP on his first deal as a general partner. He certainly has had experience in this, and very, very excited for him. He's going to be exiting his healthcare job of 30 years next year, and is going to be focusing full time on multifamily. So kudos and congrats to you, Michael, and super delighted and honored to be on this journey with you. And then my husband and I, David, we've been investing in multifamily since 2014. This is our fifth deal as general partners. We have been limited partners in 25 deals, and we have 2 deals as GPs that have gone full cycle. And I'll give you a little hint. It was the same 2 deals that Larry's was. That's why our average return to our investors is the same as what's on Larry's, 194%. So we also are very proud parents of amazing twin boys, William and Christian. That picture is a little bit old. I see we need to update that, but they are almost 6 years old now. So quite a bit bigger now than that picture. And something that we really have learned from this whole process is just, number one, the importance of business integrity, having integrity in your business and always doing the right thing. And also how incredibly fulfilling it is to truly being in the business of helping people, seeing the impact that our previous projects have had on the tenants that live there. It's truly amazing. And just seeing how it's helped our residents in these properties have safer places to live, places that offer more amenities for them and their children, places that are safer and more comfortable. So, it truly is a win-win because, obviously we and our investors benefit financially, and also just seeing the benefit from the tenants is really something that can't really put a price on. Alrighty here. So our strategic business partners, these are familiar names in the industry. So if you're familiar at all with multifamily investing, you probably have heard of all of these companies. So James Ng at Old Capital, he has helped us on, let's see, all of our deals as general partners except one. So he's incredibly smart, knows the industry, knows how to get things across the finish line, and knows how to help get us the best terms. Fairmont Management Company, this is who we have chosen for our property management company. And Brett Lusky is the owner of that over there. And he's been in this industry for years. I trust him, and I know that they are going to do a phenomenal job. So I'm really excited about that. The cash flow portal, this is an awesome journey as well, seeing this company grow. So cash flow portal, I've seen them from when they just started out to where they are now, and they're truly inspirational. They have really saw an opportunity, saw a need in the space, and put together an amazing company to help solve that problem. And that problem is just the organization of keeping all of your investors' paperwork organized and having a place where our investors can go and log in and see how their properties are performing, how their investments are performing, and also just be able to have it stores like all of their information. So if they have already used cash flow portal for a property and go to use it again with us, all of your information will be there, and you won't have to retype a bunch of that stuff. So it's very exciting to see that. And cash flow portal is one of the best out there. There are some other investment portals. I've had some experience with others, and the biggest difference that I'll tell you that I see is that cash flow portal's customer support is bar none phenomenal. They are super responsive, and they are big picture. They're looking at constantly improving. They add enhancements. They're open to feedback. Great to work with. So really excited to have them as part of our strategic partners here. And then Colliers is the loan agency that we're getting the loan through. Callister and Associates, they are, great to work with as well. They're putting together all of our real estate paperwork, all of the subscription agreement, company agreement, and all of that good stuff. So they do handle all the legalese. And then of course, last but not least, Brad Sumrock and the Sumrock organization. You know, there's I think a lot of people on this call probably would not be really in this space or even you know, thriving or being as successful as they are if it weren't for Brad and his wife Jen. And my journey with them, I'll just say very quickly, in case there's people on here who you know, who don't know. So my husband David and I, we started out as students of Brad and Jen's back in 2014. So we had been investing in single family, and just, you know, real estate investing of all different types was very intriguing to us. And we were looking at just different ways of expanding and growing our investing experience. And we had heard Brad speak at some local real estate clubs. We had done some research on him. And then my husband was on meetup.com, and he saw that Brad was conducting a meetup at one of his properties in Irving, Knollwood. This was way back in 2013. And so my husband went to that, and it just kind of snowballed from there. And then we, you know, did the weekend training, and from there I started, well, David and I, we volunteered at the events, and then I started working part-time for Brad and Jen. And now, you know, I was the first person they hired, and they trust me to be kind of their right and left hand for their company. So it's been a really awesome journey on this. All right, so the property itself, so it's 89 doors. It has had an average of 96% occupancy for the last 2 years. Some of the amenities that it currently has is some covered parking, has a very peaceful, very nice, tranquil courtyard and picnic area. There's a really awesome playscape for the children, and we'll have some pictures of that here coming up. There is an on-site laundry facility, and the leasing office has been updated as well. The unit mix of this, so it's mostly 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There are 32 2-bedroom and 1.5 bath, and there's one big kahuna, the one 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. So you know, this is really great too for this area, this floor plan mix, just because, you know, it does support have the ability for families, you know, to have 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. So it's really great here. Our minimum investment is $75,000, and you know, if there's something that if that amount is not something that you can do, just, you know, talk to us. I will put up our contact information at the end, and if we can, you know, make it work on a one-off, you know, we will try. And we are planning on, you know, the typical hold of 3 to 5 years. Our projected overall return 114%, projected annual cash return 6%, and the projected IRR 22%. So this is situated in a very, very nice area of Plano. Well, you know, Plano itself is, I mean, it's a very affluent, very nice area, and it is kind of just right in a perfect spot. And ironically, I've always wanted to own in Plano. I just love this market. I just absolutely love it. And I don't want to steal Lydia's thunder coming up. She's going to talk about the market, but it's just, I mean, it is a prime spot. I'm super excited about it. Plano is home to 35 of Forbes Global 2000 companies. The owner that owns this property right now, he has done an amazing job with this property. He's put in over $2 million in renovations, and he's just really taken great care of it. It's obviously, I mean, with a 96% occupancy, the amenities and the capital improvements that he's done has really set us up to just have an amazing takeover as new buyers, also leaving a little bit of meat on the bone. So, I mean, this is like a dream property. A little bit more here just in detail about specific parts of it. The utilities, it's electric and water and gas is master meter. It was built in 1970. It's garden style. The roof is flat TPO, which we, Larry, David, and I, we actually have experience with one of our, the first property we bought, LaDonna Place in Wichita Falls had the flat roof. So we're very experienced with that. Individual HVACs for cooling, which is awesome. And then the hot water is 2 gas boilers. And we'll keep going here so you can see some of the pictures. So here's just some pictures that you can see and of the kitchen. It has that subway tile backsplash. The countertops are really beautiful. It has those nice modern handles on the cabinets and the detail of the shaker style cabinet. And those shower is, I mean, that's really, really nice. This property is so clean and it feels like a B class, you know, C class because it was built in the 70s, but it really has like a B class feel to it. Here's some more details, and you can even see some of the other pictures. So the parking lot was restriped and resurfaced just last year. There's a total of 224 spaces, which is a really great ratio for number of tenants. And there's still opportunity to add some more covered parking if we decided to. There's 136 spaces uncovered, and there you can see the playscape too. And I think this next one even covers more of the amenities. So you can see that there's, you know, the vinyl plank faux wood, modern lighting, that ceramic tile in the shower and the tub, over the range microwave, the brush nickel, the closets have been are very spacious. They're nice big closets, and custom trim and baseboards. And then here's just some photos of the property that you can see all in one space. So you see it's very well maintained, does not have a lot of deferred maintenance, taken care of very well. And it also has those cedar, you know, cedar wrap there on the patios on those ground level properties. And then this playscape is really nice, very well taken care of, nice quality. So that's just a little bit of a snapshot of the property as a whole and our team. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Lydia. And Lydia, you can take it from here.
Thank you, Crystal. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is Lydia Esari, one of the general partners, and I'd like to give you a market overview of Plano, Texas. And this is a remarkable location for this property. As you can see, this slide can speak for itself. And there are many aspects to highlight of this top market. As you know, DFW is one of the top markets for multifamily investing in the nation. And this is an excellent sub-market within a top market. In the first box, we see listed that Plano, Texas is #3 most recession-resistant city in the US. And that is measured by the percentage of unemployment during hard times, during recession time. It's also measured by the cost of housing, the kind of support that the state provides during those times. And Plano runs very well. The unemployment was really very low, even during the pandemic and during the recession in the years 2006, 2010, those hard years. So this is a very remarkable market. Also, the tenants have a very easy access to the city line mixed-use development using the top right, and also the telecom corridor. These two are districts, we will say commercial districts. They offer a lot of office space with a lot of businesses coming to set headquarters in this area. And with that, they bring employment, and that's what is attracting a lot of people to move into this area. Also, the schooling doesn't fall behind because they have Collin College and the University of Texas, Dallas. Combined, they have 86,000 students, and also the schools are rated, they're top rated, they're very good schools. So many reasons why many people choose Plano as a place to live. The medical industry is also well represented, and this Richardson Medical Center is one of the most renowned hospitals in that area because they offer many specialties for the care of the residents. And probably one of the main aspects is good in this map. Now we can see is that the residents have a very easy access to Highway 75. You see that runs north-south, comes all the way from Dallas and goes to up north to the border with Oklahoma. And also you see south of the property is the George Bush Turnpike. So with that, the residents enjoy very easy access to, it's very easy for them to commute to their workplace. Another thing to emphasize is that the workforce in Plano is very strong. And it has been estimated that about 57% of the residents are highly educated. They have at least a bachelor's degree. And this is going to be important. You see why, you see here in this slide listed that top employers are in Plano. Very importantly, you see the Forbes Global 2000, which really ranks the companies by their revenue. Okay, you can see here listed, we have JP Morgan, Bank of America, very strong corporate companies. Same on the top right, on the two right columns, we see these strong employers that have over 1,000 or almost 1,000 employees. But the reason they move to Plano or decide to set base there is because of the smart workforce, or so-called smart, really highly educated adults that are moving to Plano, and they know that's key for their success. Next slide, and this is, we could spend really a lot of time talking about all the strong economic or strong demographic, but you can see it's kind of like a combined factor. No, you have good employment, good education that's attracted very good people, and the businesses know that they're calling Plano like a smart place to set base, and we have reviewed why, and it's the same reason the residents choose this as a place to live, and you see why the occupancy in Amber Vista has been consistently very high, and we look forward that it's going to continue the same way. And with this, I would like to turn it over to Larry, who is going to talk to us about the business plan.
Excuse me a moment, I was tied up for a second here. Okay, it's Larry here. What we're going to plan to do here is modernizing everything, obviously. The property's in very good shape coming into this turnover. Most of the units, as they've said, are at near Class A quality, and we will take a look at the remaining units as we turn them and make them into a Class B, Class A status. The main thing we noticed that needs to be done is that water conservation is a big deal. Most of the units have 1.6 gallon toilets. We can put in the 8.8 gallon toilets and improve the water cost significantly. The other things we will do are mainly amenities and outside facility improvements. As you can see here, we're going to bring the other units up to granite countertops, improve the backsplashes, bring appliances in, and bring LED lighting in exteriorly. The back side of most of the units have a little porch, and those porches have a small tungsten light. If we replace that with a LED small pack, they'll have much better lighting. They'll feel much safer and be able to use their porches in better time of the year. Solar screens can be added to improve the look of the property and get rid of any damaged, or the view of any damaged blinds as we go forward. And obviously we can add the reserve. The covered parking right now is not being charged. We can easily add that as a separate entity. Next slide. This is the typical Brad Sumrock conservatively estimated underwriting. We're getting the property for $16,500. We're doing a assumption. Oh, I know this. Notice this says some financing. We're actually doing an assumption so that we're picking up a $9 million loan at 3.69%. There is 1.4 years remaining on the interest-only portion, and there is 9.6 years left on the loan itself, so that we have plenty of time to work with this loan. We compare this to looking at new financing, and with the raise in recent interest rates, we would have been paying over 6% for a loan, and our maximum loan balance would be $9.2 million. So the difference in numbers made it much more sense to go with an assumption. Next slide. We're with the current look at the market, we're looking at a 5% reversion cap rate over the next 5 years. It's fairly flat for this area, so that we think that we can be conservative there. The items that we could add to bring up the other income include possibly a smart package for thermostats and door locks, package lockers, and reserved covered parking, along with other things. The other thing that we might, or we're planning to do eventually or fairly soon, is to put a outdoor grilling station in our kitchen in the pergola area, where they have a grill right now. They have grills right now, but they're the single post charcoal grills, and they're pretty well worn out. They need replacing anyway, so why not put in a good station for them to use into the pergola? The pergola is in good shape. A little bit of landscaping needs to be refreshed. And that should bring us to the next slide, which is that the bottom line is that the total return to investors on our conservative look is about 114, 115%. Cash returns will be right around 6% a year to the investors, which gives us a total IRR of about 22.26%. And we're looking at a 3 to 6 year return, 3 to 5 years return on everything. Next. Our structure is we're taking a 0.5% acquisition fee for the work that we've done already, 2% asset management fee, which is fairly standard for the industry right now. Our property management fee is 3%, which has been negotiated with Fairmont. We're not taking a disposition fee. We're not taking a refinance fee. And the distributions are scheduled to go out quarterly. Again, the loan is an assumption. The original loan had an IO for 4 years and 1.4 year remains. The amount is $9 million. It's a 30-year amortization. It has 9.6 years left on the loan. And the loan to value component is 54.5% right left, which is fairly good for this time of the year. Next. So looking at 3 to 5 years hold, we're going to consistently monitor, as we have on all our previous projects, the market. And if situations are guaranteed, or situations warrant that we should get out because we've met our business plan or the numbers really look good for right now, we will do that. Otherwise, we plan to hold it for 5 years. And at that time, assuming everything else goes as planned, we should be able to return that 114%. Another option would be obviously to exit a little earlier, or since we will keep an eye on the market going along, if a situation arises that we can refinance the entire property and get a good portion of our money back, circa what we used to be able to do back in the early 10, 11, 12 timeframe, we will look into that, pay the penalty as necessary, and refinance, giving the investors back whatever we can for their money. Next slide. This is the organization, the structure. The investors, the limited partners, will be getting 80% of the TTEP Amber Vista LLC, which will be the owner of the actual property. And TTEP Amber Vista Manager LLC is the manager of that property, and that's composed of the 4 entities owned by the various sponsors. Next. Let's talk a little bit about cost segregation and bonus depreciation. For those of you who may not be familiar with it totally, cost segregation is a means of looking at a property and dividing it into the two major parts: personal property, which is 1245 property according to the IRS. It's eligible for 5, 7, and some 15-year depreciation, and includes carpet, appliances, light fixtures, plumbing, electrical, washing machines, or appliance. We've got the appliances in there, and all the little items that make up the property. And then the real property, which is 1250 property, is the actual building, and that will be for an apartment complex. It is depreciated at 27.5 years. If it is a commercial building, it's depreciated at 39 years. So what bonus depreciation allows us to do is take 100% of the personal property component, which would allow us to take all of that depreciation in year one. 2022, this year, is the last year for 100% bonus depreciation. As January 1st, 2023, this will go to 80%. So for this property, it's estimated to be about $4.5 million of depreciation against the $8 million raise that we are doing. So we're a little bit, right around 50%. Will be allowed. Now, this is only approximations until our engineering firm actually gets on site and does an analysis of what is at the property. Next slide. This is a sample of what we look at if we were possibly looking at the property. As you can see, under bonus depreciation with cost segregation, we're allowed to take the 5-year property and the 7-year property along with that portion of the 27.5-year property to get a total depreciation. We compare that to the without cost segregation, and all we would get is 1/5 of the 5-year property, 1/15 of the 15-year property, plus the 27.5-year property. So the difference would be a little bit over $3 million in depreciation allowed in the first year. Going forward, obviously, without cost segregation, you'd get more each year versus with the cost segregation, all you get is the 27.5-year property. We can answer any questions of that when we get to Q&A. And now, Michael, take it away.
Question is, why invest in Amber Vista? And I can answer that question. Larry just talked about bonus depreciation, and this is the last chance for 100% bonus depreciation. Next year, it will be 80%. The location. Amber Vista is located in Plano, Texas, and it's experiencing job growth and population growth, just like the rest of the DFW Metroplex. Amber Vista is a cash flowing asset and a proven value add. We're doing water conservation with SAS. This will decrease expenses and increase the NOI. Low agency debt. We're assuming the current loan with an interest rate of 3.69%, which is a little lower than the current interest rate. We have a strong sponsor team with many years of experience. This is the 4th deal that Larry, Crystal-Lee, and David have done together. Next, we're going to talk about the acquisition timeline. And PSA was executed on September 1st. Due diligence was completed on September 23rd. Today's October 17th, the investor webinar. Tomorrow, the subscription period begins and the PPM will be available. The subscription period ends November 16th, and the target closing date is November 22nd. And now I think Larry is up next.
Awesome. Thanks, Michael. Thank you, everybody. So We are nearing the end here, and thank you again for taking the time to be on this with us. And again, we're just very, very excited about this property. Just there's been so much market changes, and deals, look different 3 months ago than they did, 3 months before that. And so it's exciting, and it is it's assuring as well to find a property like this, at a reasonable purchase price, and it's in good shape, and it's in a great location. So we're super excited about it. So there's next steps, and Michael, we actually have the subscription period. We are ready now. We're actually a little bit ahead of our timeline, which is awesome. So for anybody that wants to join us on this, which we would love for everybody who's listening to this to join it, because we truly do believe in this property, and we believe in our business plan, and we believe in our partnership, and know that this will be, something that can help you all, benefit just from your investing, bonus depreciation, etc., and then some. And also, it's exciting to be on this journey together, and we will do everything that we can to make this deal another home run, another knock it out of the park, like we have our other deals. So you can go to our cash flow portal. So you can either click on that link. I believe it will be live on the slide deck when I email it out tomorrow or tonight. You can scan this QR code, or you can go to tinyurl.com/ambervistaportal, tinyurl.com/ambervistaportal. And if you are not familiar, with the cash flow portal, feel free to reach out to anybody on our team, and we can help walk you through it if you would so desire. I am going to put this URL in the chat here in just a moment. So in the cash flow portal, there will be a place for you to fill out your information. Now, this is an important piece that I can share with you from experience to save a lot of time. If you're investing with an entity, or a self-directed IRA, or a solo 401k, or a trust, then you actually need to complete the portal using that entity name. So anything pertinent with the entity, such as tax ID number or EIN, address, anything like that, that's something that you will need to do. Otherwise, we'll have to go back and redo it, which we can, but just want to help save you some time. Once you have completed the paperwork, which is all through the portal, then we will, review it as a team, and those that are approved will be sent the wiring instructions along with confirmation of your subscription documents. And as you know, time is of the essence. So please, once you're accepted, please, wire your funds within 5 days of the acceptance. So here's all of our contact information. Larry's got his email and cell. We have our email and cell for all of us. I can usually respond to text messages pretty quickly. So, if you have something that is, a quick question, you can text. All of us are always open for a phone call too. If you'd like to hop on the phone, happy to do that. All right, so we had already gotten a few questions prior to this, so we went ahead and just answered them here. Thought that might be a little more convenient. So one of the questions we got is, how much is the general partner team investing in the deal? And we collectively are investing $650,000, which that is something that always stands out to me. And as you may recall from earlier, David and I have invested passively in 25 deals. And so, we have had some experience investing passively, and how much the general partner team is putting in is important to us. And so it's important that we implement that as well in our own deals. And then the investor distribution. So we're planning to provide quarterly distributions. and we aim to start, 6 to 8 months after acquisition. So that'll give us, some good timeline to enhance the property. All right, so now we can open it up to Q&A, and I want to invite, our team on here. That feel free to unmute yourself. We did have some answers or some questions that came in, throughout the presentation. So I can go ahead and kind of start with those, because there are probably other people on here that have those questions. So the age of the roofs, they were replaced in 2016. And the due diligence report that we had shows that they have probably about 10 years left. The boilers, one of the boilers is 7 years old. The other was replaced in 2021. A question here about economic vacancy. So our T3 or trailing 3 economic vacancy is 6.1%. Year one, we expect to approximately be around 18 and then decrease to 9% by year 3. Break-even occupancy was asked. And by the way, Larry, thank you, because Larry was answering some of these questions during the presentation, so thanks for doing that. The economic occupancy of 50% still meets the payment of the loan required. Another question about the overall return. So are we targeting the overall return of 114.71% irrespective of the hold time? In other words, in year 3, does it still target 114%? And the answer to that is that the 114.71% is our target projected return at 5 years. If the return is met before that time, then we will consider selling the property. Here's a question about the loan assumption. What would our rate be after the 1.4 years of interest only lapses? And it's a fixed rate, so the rate does not change. After the interest only expires, then we'll just start paying the principal down. And yes, it is a fixed rate loan. So those were some questions that came through, because it is a loan assumption. Let's see here. We have a question here. Do you have comps and rent rates summarized that you can share? Yes, our team did do a market survey, and we do have that data. Let's see. Looks like Larry's answering that question, so I'm going to go ahead and answer some of these others. And if we don't get to all of your questions, we will certainly go through the Q&A here after this presentation, and ensure that we get your questions answered. Let's see, here's a question on asset management. So Larry is going to be the main asset manager on this, and but we all are going to be involved. We've learned that usually having a lead person just helps, because you can kind of get things can get a little confusing, or too many people involved, and everybody thinks someone's doing something and maybe they're not, or whatever. So Larry is going to be our lead, but we all are going to be involved on managing the asset. So kind of my strengths and things that I enjoy are kind of like managing the meetings with the property management company, working on building that rapport with the on-site staff. Those are things that I really enjoy, and I know that we've seen from experience that when we build those relationships with the on-site staff and help them feel valued and appreciated, they are very motivated to do great work. And unfortunately, that is kind of hard to find these days. So that's something that I really like to do. So that'll be that, and some of the roles that I'll have as on the asset management, and also any major CapEx projects and like long-term vision. We all will be involved in that as well. All right, let's see here. We're going to keep going through and answering these questions. I do believe that everybody has the visibility to see these questions. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go through some more. And then as the night goes on, we will be wrapping it up here in just another few minutes. So if we don't get to your question, we will answer you individually after the presentation. Let's see, does the location of the property warrant Class A level upgrades? Is it in a Class B location? So yeah, that's one of the comps is already at a very similar level of the finish out on that. So yes, it does. Are sponsors sufficiently capitalized and motivated to absorb unexpected cash infusions versus relying on additional capital calls? And the answer to that, thankfully, is yes. Yes, very thankful to be able to say yes to that, that we have sufficient cash reserves. And you know, in the 4 deals that we've done with Larry and then the one that we've done without, thankfully, you know, we have never had to do a capital call. All right, can you please explain why no delta considered between purchase cap and reversion cap rates? So I'm just reading the answer that Larry typed. He's our numbers guy here, but looking at the projected cap rates over the next 5 years, the 5% is the look forward number. All right. So with all of that being said, I do see some more questions have come in, and let's see, will the slides be posted on the cash flow portal? I don't see them there. Yeah, that's correct. We wanted to wait until the end of this presentation before we posted them on there, just as, you know, going through it if there's any updates that we wanted to make. So we'll get those on there for you all, and we'll also send this out, you know, in an email as well. All right, so there are some other questions we will answer you all individually here as time is going on. But before I dismiss and tell everybody, you know, goodbye for now, does anybody on our team have any closing thoughts, anything that you guys want to add or say?
Yes, I just wanted to say that somebody asked for the comps, and yeah, you said that before, but yeah, that will be shared, whether it will be emailed to that particular person or that can also be shared some other ways, right,
Yeah,
Crystal?
we can put the comps in the portal too. Sure,
You
we
can also put
absolutely
it in the
include that.
portal,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, we'll include the comps in the slides with the slide deck. That's totally happy to do that. So. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. Thank you again so much. We really, really appreciate you being on this with us. And with that being said, I am going to stop the recording and we will get this out to everybody. Thank you again, and let us know any questions you have